Day 2 of the New York Jets OTA period is officially in the books. And today was interesting because we got to see the media open to practice, which means they were able to film some of the highlights. And we got some more news, notes, and analysis to give you in this video. Now, before we jump into all that, I do want to let you guys know that as we ramp up OTAs and slowly get into mandatory minicamp and then training camp, we're going to have a lot more of this film for you guys. And once the pads come on, that's when we're going to be able to deep dive even more into who's really standing out, because as they're running against air and doing 7-on-7s with very light contact, we won't know too much. But again, as things ramp up, that's when things will get very interesting. But today was a very interesting practice. I believe there was a couple of guys who weren't at practice today. Breece Hall, Quinnen Williams, Hassan Reddick, John Simpson, Solomon Thompson, and Lecky Fotu as well. And then there's some injured guys, obviously Elijah Vera Tucker, Mike Williams, Jordan Travis, all were not at practice today as well. But media was pretty confident that they were inside, getting rehab done or, on a stationary, but just doing some things to get healthy. So we'll see what happens with those guys. But for the most part, today was a very interesting day. Now, before we dive into all of that, I want you guys to comment down below which one of these brand new offensive players do you think will be the biggest contribution or make the biggest contribution for the Jets going into next season. Now, in my opinion, I think it's going to be one of the brand new tackles, either Tyron Smith or Morgan Moses. The one thing in football that you need to do is protect your quarterback. And when you have Aaron Rodgers getting up there in age, you need him not to get hit, right? You need him to stay healthy. And those two guys, I think, are going to be able to make day one impacts as starters for this team. So if you ask me that question, either of those two guys are going to be my answer. But for you, does it change? Is it a Malachi Corley? Is it a Braylon Allen? A Isaiah Davis? Is it a John Simpson? Let me know in the comments down below. Mike Williams as well, he's brand new here, so let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. But with that being said, let's dive a little bit into this video. Now, I don't really want to focus too much on the defensive side of the ball because the Jets were nasty last year defensively, number 10 in the NFL in points allowed per game. And think about it like this, right? They couldn't really move the ball too well. They ranked number 29th in points per game. So if you get their offense up and running just a little bit more, it's going to maintain well-rested energy for the defense, which turns their defense from top 10 to probably top 5. I would not be surprised at all if the Jets have one of the best, if not a top 3 defense in the NFL next season. Guys, real quickly before we jump back into this video, do me a big favor, hit that like button just so we can get this video out to more Jets fans around the world. But also subscribe to the channel if you're new. It is free, it doesn't cost anything, and we will be covering the Jets throughout the entirety of the offseason. That includes OTAs, mandatory minicamp, training camp, preseason, regular season, literally everything you can think of. We've got you guys covered. So join the family, turn on post notifications, and join the family. With that being said, let's dive right back into the video. Just because of the return of Aaron Rodgers and them being able to, sustain drives going through games, right? So I'm very excited for that alone, but I wanted to focus on the offense. There's a couple of guys who I think are in prime positions to break out this season, right? One being Xavier Gipson, a gadget guy, a guy who was a UDFA last year. We heard a lot of good things from training camp and rookie OTAs and mandatory minicamp out of Xavier Gipson last season. Last year wasn't extremely productive for them, but is a guy that Aaron Rodgers does really like. And then you have just another wide receiver who is actually another guy they love as well, Jason Brownlee. Now, he's impressed a lot of coaches as an undrafted rookie during OTAs last spring. The same thing, right? He's developed instant chemistry with Aaron Rodgers, and Rodgers again likes him a lot. But at the end of the day, there looks like there's 2, maybe 3 day one starting wide receivers for this team in Mike Williams, Garrett Wilson. The number 3 is up in the air in my eyes. I think it could be any of Malachi Corley, Jason Brownlee, Allen Lazard, or Xavier Gipson. I think these 6 wide receivers, mainly the 4 at the end, all have a chance to win that number 3 job, which is going to be it's going to be a big time spot, right? So that's something I'm very interested in seeing over the next few weeks here as we continue to ramp up Jets OTAs, once the pads come on, these guys are going to have to make some big time plays, right? Now, another position group I'm very interested to see is the running back position. I think Braylon Allen, a guy who they took in the 4th round, has potential to be a dog. Now, obviously, Breece Hall will be your guy no matter what, but do not sleep on Braylon Allen. The man is massive. He is very, very young and flashes potential. The man's like 20 years old right now, okay? So imagine in like 2 to 3 years, he's going to be 22, 23 years old and probably hitting his prime, right? So I really like Braylon Allen. If you guys play fantasy football or care at all, make sure you guys look at Braylon Allen. I think this dude could be someone who steps in right away and actually contributes pretty quickly here. Now, one more guy I'm very interested to see is a former 1st-round pick of last season, Will McDonald, right? Obviously, they bring in Hassan Reddick. You have Jermaine Johnson. I don't think he'll be able to be a starter right away, but if you want to change the defense, which they probably won't. But listen, I think Will McDonald offers them a very good opportunity to have insane depth off the edge, right? You have Michael Clemens and you have Will McDonald and Solomon Thomas. I think they have potential to have one of the best edge rushing depth charts in the NFL as long as he continues to develop. So again, I'm looking forward to see him a little bit. But overall, today was a good day, man. Today was a very good day. Good to see a lot of Malachi Corley. Good to see a lot of Aaron Rodgers. Looks like he is fully ready to go. Just excited to see how he continues to progress and gets better from that injury from last season. And again, we're going to start learning more as time goes on, but right now, things are looking good for the New York Jets. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, join the family, turn on post notifications, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
But for him to push the envelope, continue his rehab, he has no restrictions, and he looks good, man. The arm talent obviously is still there, but it's really just reacclimating to everything, and we're trying a bunch of new stuff too, and it's just trying to evolve within the offense.
Well, how is he doing in terms of, is he taking snaps under center?
He's doing everything.
Work related to handoffs and stuff that maybe he wasn't doing toward the end of last year?
He's doing everything.
At the Orange Days in March, you said you were kind of hoping you guys could fly under the radar this year after last year. Well, you're on primetime 6 times, and all 7 games. Rich's cohorts at ESPN have announced you as the Super Bowl favorites last week. You think that's not going to happen this year, like you know?
No, it's New York. There's always going to be excitement. It's awesome that we're, like I said, that we're looked at in that light. But at the same time, none of it matters unless we focus on the process and going day to day and trying to be the best we can.